Next here, and we're going to start with kind of a little preview of how I do the Doom nodes in 3.4. Now, warning, this is a massive Kraken team in the highest difficulty level. I have had quite a few people test this out using the same strategy, and we do know that it applies across the levels. And the reason why I'm going to recommend this is because you want to maintain your team's cooldowns, because right now we're kind of waiting for a mutant team. But the realistic part of it is it may already be on our roster. So let's talk a little bit about my strategy for the second node. It is a one-shot at 3.4, and it utilizes a team that you might have seen before. All right, now these are my Xmen team, and we're going to talk right away about priorities, right? So the main priority here is getting better resolution so you guys can actually see the nodes. The main priority here is your bishop has to withstand the ult from Deathpool. She's kind of the gatekeeper for whether or not this is going to work for you inside of each one of these raid scenarios. So at 3.4, you can see that he's already on the ropes. Now the next part about this is you're going to special first. Now the reason why you're going to special is there's no way really to get around Doctor Strange's flip. So if you do the ult with Beast right here, he's just going to flip those and you're going to wind up being pissed off. So you're going to see we just go for the heal. That'll clear the taunt off. So then we're kind of off to the races. So we're going to talk about this right there. So this is the number. This is the other number you got to be aware of, right? All right, the Doctor Strange special into here. All right. So if he has dodge, that's great. He happened to have dodge right there. It's like 500k. We talk about the crit of it. Sometimes it may be worth to restart it, just because he could do that to a fully maxed rogue right now in that scenario. So just to be aware of that. Okay, your priority targets are Deathpool, Doctor Strange, Agatha, and Scream. The other two you're going to be using for speed up when they die. All right, so here you'll see they flip some debuffs. We don't really care about those because we're basically just going to start setting this up for the nodes here. Now, there's a couple different ways to play this. The most important to think about this is you can't really let any of these characters on the node heal who have the ability to heal, because that'll actually slow it down and make you not be able to one-shot this. So even though you resist that stun because of the offense down, it's still okay. We're gonna get around. Now, when you're down to the last four, you're gonna try to stack on a couple different characters. You wanna make sure slow, offense down, and ideally blind are ready to go on your lowest health character as you transition through these four characters. Now, remember, the next wave will not trigger until these speed bars are depleted. So if you kill too rapidly in rapid succession, you're not going to have anybody to spread from. So just be aware of that. So allowing him to do this little heal. Remember, this is also dangerous. You have to be sure you do not have two stacks of vulnerable on him. Otherwise, he becomes a higher priority target, because his at 3.3 and above, his striker attack will kill Bishop. Just to be aware of that. So if you see more vulnerables on it, you have to prioritize him first. And again, her special is ready. The biggest thing about this is Jubilee's special is the ability that I think gives this team a lot more legs than we've been using it. We've all forgotten how to use this special effectively. All right. The main reason we're going to talk about this is when we see the final video, we do the boss node coming soon. We're going to talk about how to use that to make sure the whole team has their offense up to burst through characters. You see, we're still trying to not kill Drax as much as possible here. There's still the potential we might be able to spread from him for these debuffs. We're going to kill him here probably. We're going to be able to kill here. We have to speed up. You see their speed bar is full over here. So we know we've got a few more seconds to be able to prepare for her special. Then we just want to go ahead and you're going to start this node by trying to flip or strip offense ups. Flip defense down, specifically on somebody like Wong, and then preparing this target for the spread here. This spread from Jubilee allows you to easily control the remainder of this node. The flip was lucky right there. Allows us to go through this pretty easily. Then it's target priority. Obviously, you want to prioritize Kestrel because she can remove all those debuffs on her turn. You have to be very careful with our good friend Wong over here, because Wong literally, if you leave him up, he could one-shot the entire team. His damage is no joke. So getting that stun on him is very, very lucky, and then we're just basically going to pick these characters off by priority level. Because there's blinds over here, won't be as important. We just don't want to let Dagger do her heal on turn 2. We're going to get some really quick damage. Remember, one thing to remember is by default, Sharon Carter and Doctor Strange OG have lower health. If you need to try to push a turn quickly and get some extra speed bar, those are your targets, especially with a bishop who's been charged. You'll see I even rewind his time over here because I don't want him to lose those debuffs. We get a couple of unfortunate dodges, and this comes down to 1 second. Now, the past few days I've gotten this down. I did it on stream with my laggy BlueStacks. We actually did it with about 45 seconds left. So this is something we've been doing pretty much every day once we figure out the power of this team. So we're going to show you guys my Axemen so you get a baseline, and then we're definitely going to check. We're definitely going to go over what I think you should do and how to prep for this team, because this is we're gonna treat this team kind of like symbiotes. They're knocking on the door. They want to get out, but the replacement isn't ready yet, and we don't know when it will be. All right, so let's start with some basics here. All right, so start with some basics here. This is my team. Getting them level 90 is going to be nearly essential to complete them in raids if you want to do this. To be very clear, they're also the finisher, in my opinion, for Node 3. I'm working on Node 3 to a 2-shot. I've got it down to a reliable 3-shot, but I will tell you right now that MILF on that node can become a disaster. She can do a series of resists and just drain for millions of damage as you go to the higher levels. So if you're going to transition to 3.4, you're definitely going to want to think about that when you're positioning this, building this team up. The skirmisher on this team is really held up for that fact. It is these ISOs. There is no healer on Beast. Beast has never been a healer, in my opinion. You really need him to flip those debuffs. He's always been very, very important in that regard. The heal throughput that this team has is by committee. It isn't a single character doing the healing. Kitty Pryde and Beast have always done their share of healing on this team, and neither one of them have taken the lead with the massive heals. In fact, I don't remember how many characters I can think of that were healers by choice in the current meta. That being said, I'm able to land these debuffs. We're going to talk about Jubilee here, okay? So, realistically, the folks that are doing it in my alliance may have a G15 on Jubilee. I will probably say that if you can, when we talk about like T4s in these characters, the more T4s you get, the more likely you are to one-shot it and not leave it with just a little speck of health left at the end. And it's important because I really want to use my unlimited as part of my sack team for the final node, and maintaining cooldowns are really, really hard at that point in time. This is why I've started relying on this team. So first node, second node, really easy one-shots. Now, let's say you want to be conservative. To be fair, 15's on this whole team with only 16 or Jubilee, or 16 and Iceman has been what I've seen to work. These reds are great at 3.4, which is why I get about a minute left. This feels like the second node from 2.3. From Doom 2.3. Where you have to play it nearly perfectly, spread Jubilee's debuffs, and hope that you don't run out of time. But even though Axemen has collectively run out of time, the idea that a replacement is coming anytime soon is not likely. And the reason why I say that is, let's say it is the Death Horseman. The Death Horseman is likely not next patch, but the following patch. And even if their team starts trickling in, we don't know if that'll replace this team as far as viability. And so this is the point. We've stopped justifying this team based on speculation. It could be 4 or 5 months. It could be another raid before we get their actual replacement. So I'm giving you guys some alternatives and hopefully giving you guys some very, very clear instructions on how to build these teams.